Before we dive into today's podcast episode, I want to let you know about a free quiz that I have that will help you uncover if ThriveCart is the right platform for your online course. Visit marakasaric.com/ThriveCartQuiz or just use the link I included in the show notes. The quiz is just a few questions long and it'll help you uncover if ThriveCart is the right fit for your online course or if maybe you should look at another software. Hi there, my name is Mara Kasaric, and I absolutely love exploring online courses, passive income, and running a profitable online business. I'm an online course designer and strategist who left her 9-to-5 in her 20s to start a small business, and that tiny little business has grown up over the years and now provides me a regular six-figure income. On this podcast, I pull back the curtains of what it takes to create, launch, and run a thriving online course that helps your students achieve their dreams and allows you to grow your passive income too. Here you'll find launch strategy, marketing advice, curriculum design, and so much more about what it takes to create a better course. Today we're getting techie, and I'm going to dive into ThriveCart Learn as an online course platform. I've been designing and launching online courses for entrepreneurs for over 5 years now, and throughout those 5 years, I've used a lot of different softwares. Online course software changes over time. There are always new companies popping up, and I'm sure some of the companies that are currently out there today and very popular will continue to shift and change over the next 5 years, just as they have totally shifted and changed throughout my career. Sometimes new companies pop up. Also, sometimes older companies get expensive or they start to drop features that people really like, or they start to not treat their customers as well. So I've seen it all. And specifically for the last year, I've had a lot of clients who end up switching to ThriveCart. I've also gotten a lot of messages and emails, which is what led to this podcast episode, asking me whether ThriveCart is the right option for their online course. So today I'm unpacking it all. We're going to talk about ThriveCart Learn as an online course platform. I'm going to share the pros of ThriveCart Learn, the things that I think are very valuable, that make it a great online course platform. And then I'm also going to share the negative things, the things I think you should be aware of before you migrate and move your entire course over to ThriveCart. So first of all, let's talk about what is even ThriveCart. ThriveCart is a digital product sales platform. So when I say that, I mean it's a software online that allows you to sell digital products. You go into ThriveCart, you set up your product, whatever it is that you're selling, and people sell all sorts of digital products on ThriveCart, from online courses to templates to physical products like t-shirts and mugs. There's so many different things that you can sell on ThriveCart. But basically, you go in, set up your product, and then ThriveCart helps you facilitate the checkout transaction. So they help you get money from people. They also help you set up the links for people to buy. They give you the spot where people put in their credit card information, and they help you handle that processing information. On top of being a checkout platform, though, ThriveCart has an online course software called ThriveCart Learn. ThriveCart Learn comes when you purchase ThriveCart, so it's not an additional product that you have to purchase. There are some upgrades you can make. There's ThriveCart Pro, which gives you access to some additional checkout features. Primarily, a lot of it is around affiliate program, so it's something to consider if you are running an affiliate program. And then there's also ThriveCart Learn Plus, which is an upgraded platform for their online course software. But the base online course software, ThriveCart Learn, comes when you purchase ThriveCart. So if you already have purchased ThriveCart, you already have access to ThriveCart Learn. And if you have not purchased ThriveCart, you'll get access to ThriveCart Learn when you buy. And when I say it's an online course platform, I mean it's a space where you can upload and host your online course. So it's where your videos go, worksheets, audio trainings, whatever it is that you have inside of your course. And then ThriveCart Learn creates the portal where your students can log in, they can watch all of the lessons, they can review everything, and work through their course. So basically, it's where people go to actually take your course. I'm going to start with talking about the reasons why ThriveCart is great for online courses, and the big one is price. And when I say big one, this is a huge one. Other online course platforms like Kajabi, Teachable, Kartra, they charge you a monthly fee for the online course. And it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly, especially as your course grows. Most of these other online course platforms charge you as more students enroll in your course, or sometimes it's based on the number of products you have. So it's cheaper when you have one course, but as your business grows and you have multiple online courses, it becomes more expensive. ThriveCart does not do that. It's a one-time fee forever. So today, as of when I'm recording, it's $495 for the lifetime fee. That might change as pricing is always changing, but that's the current price. And if you need a link to make sure you get the best price, I will link it in the show notes. I have a short link where I always have the best price listed. And when I'm saying a one-time fee, I mean literally you are paying ThriveCart once and then you're not paying them again unless you decide to upgrade to ThriveCart Pro or ThriveCart Learn Plus. So you pay once, you're done, and that's huge because these other online course platforms, they charge you forever and ever, basically. I've had a bunch of clients that were paying thousands of dollars a year to host their online course, sometimes $2,000 up to $5,000 or more dollars just for the hosting part of their online course. And when we switched them to ThriveCart Learn, they didn't have to pay that money anymore. So there was this huge boost in profit for their online course just because we cut out those subscription fees for the software. So this price thing is a big one. And it's one of the reasons why ThriveCart is so popular. And it's something I really think people should consider because spending less on your online course software typically frees up a bunch of resources in your business to then go use that money to pay yourself more, to make your course better, to hire a virtual assistant to help you with your online course. There's so many different options, and having that flexibility around not having this monthly subscription fee is kind of a big deal. The second thing that I think is really great about ThriveCart is how they lay out their online courses. I will include examples of what a ThriveCart Learn course looks like inside of the blog post that goes with this episode, so you can see exactly what the layout looks like, what it looks like for students, and you can get a feel of what your online course is going to look like. Basically, on the left-hand side of the screen, it has all of the modules in your course listed out. And then underneath the modules, it has all of the lessons listed out. So it's kind of like one long to-do list on the side of your course. And it makes it really easy for students to click through, go in order if your course is the type of course where they should go in order, or to skip around and see exactly what is in the course. The layout of ThriveCart Learn actually reminds me a lot of the software that is used for colleges and universities. So typically, if I'm designing a course for a corporation, a large company, a university, or a college, they use totally different software than we use in the online business world. So they're not using things like ThriveCart or Teachable or Kajabi or anything like that. They use software that is educationally backed. So these bigger software companies in the corporate world have done research into how people learn, and they make sure to lay out their course software in a way that goes along with how people learn. And ThriveCart's layout reminds me a lot of that. It's a very linear layout. It's very easy for people to click through and progress and know exactly what they need to work on. I've also found it's just really easy for people to use, especially from a customer service standpoint. So when you have an online course, you're going to get people asking you all sorts of things about the online course. And often people will say, hey, I'm looking for this lesson, but I can't find it. When I've had clients who have switched to ThriveCart Learn, our customer service requests around finding different lessons drastically dropped off. You're still always going to get some of them. People always have a hard time navigating, or I should say some people have a hard time navigating things and they just need help finding the right thing. But for the most part, I've seen students can navigate and they can find the lessons on their own a lot easier than some other online course platforms. And then also from the course creator perspective, so you as the person putting the lessons into the course, I found that the layout and design is pretty easy to use. I've helped a lot of people set up their online course on ThriveCart at this point, and for the most part, after they have some beginning training on how to do it, they're able to do it on their own, which is very helpful because you don't have to then and go constantly hire someone else to manage your course. Some of the other online course platforms, it's honestly kind of confusing where you upload things, how you change the order of the lessons, how you connect the checkout. And I found ThriveCart makes that pretty simple for people, and it's really easy to use. The third thing I want to talk about why I think ThriveCart is a great option, is that ThriveCart integrates really well with a lot of other softwares. They have a lot of native integrations built into the platform. So typically, if you wanted to connect your course to an email service provider or another tool, you would need to use something like Zapier, which basically connects the two softwares and helps them talk to one another. And it can get really messy, honestly. Zapier works great, but it can get really messy to have all of these zaps between softwares, and the main problem is that when something goes wrong, you don't always know which zap to go fix, or if it's an issue with Zapier, or is it an issue with the course software, or the email software, or something else. So ThriveCart has a bunch of built-in integrations where you can avoid using Zapier. They don't have everything, but they have a lot of the really popular ones, and so then you don't need to use an outside tool to connect things. Another big pro is that ThriveCart doesn't have limits on how many products or courses you can create, and that's really good because I found that a lot of people run into issues with other online course softwares because they're fine with the price for one course or two courses, but then they realize, oh wait, I actually want 4 online courses in my business. And it becomes this weird decision of, do I launch a new course or do I not do that? Because if I do that, I'm going to have to pay a bunch more money to this software. And ThriveCart lets you have as many students as you want. It lets you have as many products and courses as you want. And that can be really helpful as you grow your business. A lot of business owners have multiple courses. Even if you have one main signature course, you might have different versions of that course. You might have mini versions or bigger versions. You might have smaller courses that are just like the miniature version that people can buy for a smaller cost. So it's really helpful to have the freedom to create a new course whenever you want, and you're not worrying about this additional cost in your business. I also think it's really important to mention that ThriveCart is very active with their software. They have been upgrading things in ThriveCart Learn pretty consistently for several years now, and that's something I really like to see in an online course platform. Some other platforms, they almost kind of ghost you, or they don't stay up to date with updating features. So I always look for platforms that are constantly releasing new features. It looks like they're listening to their audience, to their community, and they're implementing the things people are asking for. And ThriveCart definitely fits that bill for me. I'm always seeing new features come out. Their customer service is pretty proactive when I reach out and ask a question. And so I think they're in it for the long term. I think they're going to continue updating things. They're going to continue making the platform better. Also, just as a kind of interesting fact, ThriveCart just received a ton of investment money. And I just think that's interesting because usually that means this platform is going somewhere, it's going to be around for the long term, and it's going to continue to grow and add features, make it easier for people to use the platform. Okay, so let's talk about some of the more negative things, or the things I think you should be aware of before you make a decision on migrating your online course to ThriveCart. And these are just things to think through. I don't think any of these are a deal breaker, but they are things that are kind of important to know as you're making a big decision about your software. And the first one is that email marketing software is not built into ThriveCart. So for some other platforms like Kajabi and Kartra, email is part of the software, and you're sending emails inside of the same place where your online course is. Overall, I don't think it's a big deal to have your online course software and email software be in the same place, but some people really, really like having less places to log in their business, and they like that you're dealing with less integrations and you're dealing with less of the softwares trying to talk to one another. So think through if this is something that is important to you. Is it something that's going to annoy you that you go to ThriveCart to log into your online course and then you have to go to ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign or Flowdesk to log into your email software? It's definitely something you can work around. And personally, in my business, I use ThriveCart for my digital products, for courses, and then I use ConvertKit for email. And I really like that they're separate. I think that helps both of them do the thing they were meant to do. It makes ThriveCart more focused on the online course side of things and the product selling, and then ConvertKit is fully focused on email marketing. But there's a million different things you can do. I just want to highlight this because for some people, it's really annoying to not have an all-in-one platform, and ThriveCart does not have email built in. So you're going to have to pay another software to send your emails, and you might already have another software that you love, and this isn't a big deal. But if it is, it's something you should keep in mind. Another thing that's a little funky and weird about ThriveCart is you have to host your videos somewhere else. So a lot of other online course platforms, you upload the video directly into the software, and that's where it lives. You're good to go. ThriveCart does not work that way. They don't host the videos for you, so they're not storing the videos for you, which means you have to upload them somewhere else and then you embed them inside of the course. That might sound a little scary and overwhelming. Personally, I don't think it's a big deal, and there are some benefits to not having your videos hosted inside of your course. It makes it a little easier to have backups of your videos. It makes it a little easier to control the quality, but for some people, it's confusing, and you also are going to need to make a decision about where to host your videos for ThriveCart. There's a lot of different options, by the way. Vimeo is a very popular option. Amazon Web Servers, Bunny is another video hosting platform. There's a ton of them. I could list off 20 different places that you could host your videos. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. So this is something you're going to want to think through before you make the decision to use ThriveCart Learn, is just deciding, where are my videos going to live? Do I want to use something that is totally paid, or do I want to use something that's free for my videos? And along with the videos, they also don't host audio or worksheets. So it's very similar of you're going to have to keep your worksheets or the PDFs that go along with your course and any audio links, they're going to have to be stored somewhere else. So if you have a website, often you can store them on your website and then just link to them as a media link. You can also use Google Drive. You can use Dropbox. Again, there's a bunch of different options, but I just think it's important to know that you're going to have to use some other tools to keep your resources in one spot. Which, by the way, having everything hosted somewhere else can be a pro, because I have migrated a lot of courses for people over the years. And one of the very frustrating parts is that we have to download all of the videos from the online course platform because they didn't save them anywhere else. We have to get all of the worksheets. We have to get all of the PDFs. We have to get any additional audio trainings out of the course. So this is just kind of my PSA of, no matter where you host your course, have a backup file that has all of your assets, because sometimes it's really hard to get those back from the online course software. Usually it's possible, but most course creators change software at some point. If you're in this for the long term and you're going to have a course for years and years, 5 years, 10 years, you're going to want a backup of everything that isn't inside of your course. So like a Dropbox where everything is, or a Google Drive. And this is something that you're not necessarily giving to students. It's just something for you internally to have all of your resources and materials, just in case something ever went wrong or you needed to transfer it to another software. It's really helpful to have a backup. Another thing that people don't really love about ThriveCart is there is no app. So there's no like mobile app that you download and then you get a little icon on your screen and students can work through the courses that way. Some other online course platforms do have an app, and that's a great feature. Typically, having some sort of app does make it easier for people to use your online course. Now, ThriveCart definitely works on mobile. Usually what I will recommend people do is you make a Loom video, or you make some sort of video sharing how to use the course on your phone. And for ThriveCart, it's really easy. Basically, you just log in like you do on your computer, and you navigate everything like you do on your computer. And overall, it works pretty well on mobile and tablets, so it's not a totally separate app. It's just you logging into the website on your phone or your tablet or whatever device you want to use. But I want to mention this because for some people, having an app is a deal breaker, honestly, and they want a dedicated app that students can download and go through their course. And ThriveCart doesn't have that yet. Maybe they will add it in the future, but it's not something that they currently offer. And then another big one is ThriveCart does not have a way for people to comment on your lessons. A lot of other softwares have a forum where students can leave comments underneath the videos or the lessons, and that's really valuable for students. I do want to recognize that having a community in your online course is really powerful, and it's something I personally believe in. I also think giving people a way to ask questions as they're going through the material is really helpful. It's really nice to be able to watch a lesson, and then as you're watching a part of the video, literally comment and say, I'm stuck on this, or this question is coming up for me. That's a feature I really like seeing, and it's not something ThriveCart has yet. I know this is pretty high on their support requests to add comments into their course, so maybe they will do that at some point, but it is not there currently. Now, having comments in your online course is not a deal breaker. There are so many other ways you can create a community for an online course, and sometimes having comments isn't actually the best way to do that because it's another area your team is going to have to moderate. I've seen some people who have a comment section in their course and they forget that it's there, and then people don't get their questions answered, and it's really awkward because they're asking all of these questions and the course creator doesn't even realize they're there. Also, sometimes for lower ticket online courses, it doesn't make sense to have a spot where people can ask questions all the time. Your course might be at a cost point where there's just not that level of support provided where you can answer questions all of the time. So your course might not need comments. And if you do want to have an area where people can ask questions and talk to one another, you can always use something like a Facebook group, a private Slack channel. There's also communities like Circle that are a separate software and are completely built around creating a community for your online course. That's something you can use as well. So it's just something you want to think through of, is having students comment directly inside of the lesson a deal breaker? Or is it okay if you have a separate course group, or maybe you just ask them to email customer service? You can even do something like you have a Q&A form and you link that Q&A form underneath every single lesson. It gives people a few simple questions around where are you stuck? What lessons have you looked at? What do you need help with? And then you and your team can go through and answer those requests. So it's not the end of the world, but I think it's really important to decide if it's a deal breaker for you or not before you migrate your course, because sometimes I see people who migrate their entire course and then they reach out and they say, oh, I can't find how I turn on comments. And it's like, well, unfortunately, there's no spot to turn on comments currently in ThriveCart. So if you've listened to this entire episode and you're like, Mara, I still have no idea if ThriveCart is the right software for me. The price is really appealing, but I'm not sure about some of these other things you talked about. I have a quiz that I'm going to remind you about. I made it specifically for this podcast episode, and also because I get this question a lot in my Instagram messages, and I tend to get it on my contact form on my website a lot. So I made a quiz that walks you through a couple of different questions, and then it'll give you my recommendation on whether ThriveCart is a good fit for you or whether you should look for another platform. And if that is the case, and I think you should look for another platform, I will give you some recommendations on other online course platforms that are really great and have some of these features that ThriveCart does not. So quiz link is in the show notes or at marakasaric.com/ThriveCart quiz. I know my last name is a bit of a doozy, so I recommend just going to the show notes and copy and pasting it. Choosing online course software really depends on your business. It's so different for everyone. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. So I just want to remind you here at the end, do your research, but don't procrastinate the decision too long. There's so many different options out there for online courses. I've worked in nearly all of them at this point, and they all work. Some of them I like more than others, but you really can't go wrong. The most important thing is that you choose something and then you get your course up. Also, no, it's totally normal to change your mind later and migrate platforms to a different online course platform. It's just something you want to take some time and think through. Is this the right decision for my business personally? So don't just take a recommendation from someone else about what they're using for an online course. Think through what you need as a course creator, what your students need, what's going to make you happy, and then choose the best software that you can in the moment. And if you end up changing your mind later, it's truly not a big deal. Hey there, friend. You made it all the way to the end of the episode. I am so grateful and excited that you're here. If you want to hear more episodes like this about online business, online courses, growing your passive income, then you'll want to hit the subscribe button so that way you never miss an episode. It was so much fun hanging out with you today, and I'll see you on the next episode.